well. Today I decided to do a tag video, the shoe stories tag, because I was tagged by the beautiful Pickles. I'll put her channel below if you haven't seen her. I'm sure you have. But yeah, so I thought it was such a nice, inspiring tag. Is that weird? It was inspiring. It was very touching and emotional, to be honest. I'm not sure why I cried watching her video. That may be just a tiny bit weird, but you know what? Go watch her video after you watch this, because it's a bit emotional for me. It was quite sad. Okay, but the moral of the tag is I'm going to go talk about 7 of my, I guess, favorite shoes, and I'm going to talk about the, well, not necessarily favorite, but I'm going to talk about my favorite experiences that I've had in them, the stories I've had in them, how I felt when I was wearing them, what happened when I was wearing them. So it's quite an emotional journey. Let's get into it, shall we? Bye! By the way, do you guys like my hair? I feel like I'm part of the Spice Girls in the 90s. Do you remember how we used to go, you know, high ponytail with 2 little pieces sticking out? I'm not sure why I've done this, but you know what? We should try everything once in our life, or retry everything once in our lifetime, right? Comment below your thoughts on it. I'm going to start off with my first pair of shoes from the beginning. I thought, why not start from chapter 1? If I'm doing this, I shall do it properly. When I was quite young, I would say about 2 to 3 years old. Was I 2 to 3? Mom, was I 2 to 3? Mom? Okay, so when I was 2 years old, I would say these were my favorite pair of shoes. And I was little, I was a tiny girl, as you can see. They were tiger, you know, tiger printed. I was quite a fashionista growing up, to be honest. And the reason I wanted to include these shoes in it, because obviously I don't remember exactly what happened when I was that age, but just the memories of my childhood I've always loved so much. Hearing stories, looking back on videos and things like that, I don't know, I would never swap my childhood for anything in the world. I had so much fun growing up with my younger brother and my younger sister, Arlen and Sarah. I'll put their channels, and well, I'll put Sarah's channel below. I had so much fun growing up, and all I can think of when I was at that age, or obviously through photos and videos, is that it was just so fun. If I could go back to a part of my life, I would go back to be a child from the ages of 2 to maybe 7 or even 10. I still have fun, obviously, but nothing beats your childhood, I think, right? I don't remember an exact story, but I just remember overall having so much fun during my childhood. So that's why I wanted to include these. And that goes on to my second pair of shoes, which would be these babies. They're quite old-fashioned now, looking back, but when I was about 17, 18, I would have to say, when I just got my license, I thought I was Hilary Duff at one point in my life, and I tried dressing like her. I probably even tried acting like her, which didn't work at all, to be honest. She's still such an inspiration in my life. I think she's just such a good human, if that makes sense. That sounds so weird. But I do remember when I first purchased these shoes, I was so excited. It was my first purchase as an adult by myself without my mom coming shopping with me. I remember when I went to uni, on my way back, I had a bit of time, I think, left to go to my auntie's house. I'm not sure what happened, but I remember having spare time. That's why I went to a shop called Ruby Shoes here. And you know, it's quite a cheap shoe store. There's a lot of alternatives for your favorite brands and things like that. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I feel like an adult now. Since I can drive, I can probably buy things on my own without asking my mom. And it was my first purchase I made as an adult. So I was quite proud of myself. I went home and I actually hid the shopping bag in my car for about a week or 2 because I was scared to tell my mom I bought shoes, even though they were that expensive. But I was still scared to admit to her that I bought shoes. So this was my first grown-up heel that I wore, and for some odd reason it made me feel like Hilary Duff. It made me closer to my goal, which was beautiful. So when I was 18, I just turned 18. I didn't really go clubbing because I was one of the first ones to turn 18 in my group of friends, and I didn't really want to go alone. I really wanted my friends to come with me, so I had to wait it out for a few months until they turned 18 as well, because that's the clubbing age in Australia. After these heels, I didn't know what to wear clubbing or anything like that. That's why I kept asking around, what do you wear clubbing? And everyone was like, you have to wear really high heels, something that makes you confident and, you know, look sexy, I guess, you know. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go buy heels for it. And I remember, you know, going into a store called Diofo here, like a shopping center. The store was called Wanted Shoes. And I didn't really have a goal in mind. I was like, whatever, I'll just buy whatever, you know, whatever's, you know, on sale. And then I came across these, you know, this pair, and I fell in love. So this is what it looks like. It's still, I think, one of the tallest heels I own. I tried it on and I was like, you know what, it's so comfortable. And since that day, no lie, this has been the most comfortable heel I have ever owned. It's a Toni Bianco, and this was my heel that I started going clubbing in. You know, I don't drink or anything like that, but I love to dance. So when we went clubbing, we went hard at it. We just danced until, I don't know, in the morning. So you can see this shoe is worn out. It's done its life. Rest in peace. And I don't want to throw this shoe out because it's taken me on so many adventures. I feel like it gave me confidence. Is that weird? I don't know. But I feel like it gave me so much confidence going clubbing. I had never gone clubbing previously. I was a hermit, and I still classify myself as one, but just that time period in my life, I was quite confident. I traveled, I guess, in Sydney club-wise, if that makes sense. And I met so many friends in these shoes, but it was just so fun and they were so comfortable. I had the best times dancing in these shoes, and I shall never forget them. They look dead. Poor shoes. Fast forwarding on to my 19th birthday, I decided to go blonde. So it was a new chapter in my life once again. As you can see, this is kind of my natural hair color, maybe a bit lighter during the summer. But I went completely blonde. If you haven't seen it, I'll try and post a photo here. If not, definitely click below. I'll put photos on my Facebook page. That's when I was, you know, a new girl, it was a new chapter in my life. I was a whole new person, and that's when I purchased these shoes. Now these were from the same store, One Two Shoes. They're once again from the brand, no, actually, sorry, they're from Siren, but they're from the same store as these ones. But I was just a whole nother person in my head. I don't know if that translated out in real life, but in my head I was a whole different person. I was much more fierce, or I like to think I was, you know, on point. I was, you know, rocking the whole club scene, dancing away. But it was my 19th birthday, and I just felt so much like an adult. You know, I was like, everyone, I'm 19 now, you can't mess with me. I know what I'm doing in life. I know the meaning of life, generally speaking. I'm just an adult. So this definitely reminds me of the time I went to one club. It was in the city, it was in Darling Harbour, and I just had so much fun. And this one club had a few different levels, so my friends and I would go up and then down. We'll just, you know, take turns going on different levels and just dancing, because each level had a different music vibe, I guess, going on, and a different music genre. But we had so much fun, and I remember at that time I found a new confidence. When, you know, people would approach us, I would take that opportunity to say, you know, we're here to dance. I don't know, it was just fun. I don't know how to explain it. I wish there was like a specific story, but unfortunately I don't remember one on the top of my head. But it was so fun. So I'm thankful for having these shoes, and I'm thankful for these shoes allowing me to dance all that time, and as much as I did, so thank you. I'm so sorry about the sunlight. The sun's moving. I can't control the sun. I'm sorry. Now I'm going on to my last pair of shoes before the sun blinds me. This is actually my favorite pair of shoe. If you've been a long time viewer of my channel, you may know that my sister and I met Zayn and Harry Styles from One Direction. Best day of my life. But when I met them, I was wearing these shoes from Steve Madden. I was wearing this with my white blazer. I'm sure you've seen it on Instagram, with leather tights, and that's it, and a black singlet. So the best memory, seriously. So what happened was, long story cut short, my sister and I were in the city driving around, and I'm not sure what we were exactly doing, but we got a text saying that Zayn and Harry, or One Direction, was at this certain club in the city. So me being me, I was like, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna, you know, meet them. There's no point of us going there, even though it wasn't too far. It was maybe like 5-10 minutes away. My sister is quite the confident one, and she was like, no, we have to go. You have to meet them. If I don't meet them, you have to meet them yourself. We just have to go. So we went there, quite confident, walked into the club. My sister wasn't 18 yet at the time, so she was outside. I thought I'd only be like a few minutes. I was like, I'll be back, Sarah, no worries. So I went inside the club, and then I saw that, you know, there was a crowd around this area. So I was like, okay, what's happening? I literally go there, and everyone was screaming and crying around me. So I was like, what can I do to get Zayn's attention? Because Zayn was in the crowd in this VIP area. I kid you not, I'll put the link below of me thoroughly explaining what happened with my sister, but I literally just stood there, and I made no emotion of me wanting to meet him, or no, you know, no happiness emotion, or no crying emotion, or anything like that. I was being very neutral, and I guess that caught his attention, because he came up to me and he whispered, this is so weird, he whispered in my ear saying, would you like to join the VIP section with me? And I was like, sure. I died inside, but I kept my cool. I remember I tweeted saying, oh my gosh, Zane came up to me, and at that moment I was getting all these tweets coming through. I just didn't know what to do because my sister was outside. There was no point of me messaging her. And oh Lord, we sat in VIP together, and it was the most surreal experience because saying that story seemed so crazy. Even to me when I was right there, I was like, this is not happening. And we just spoke, I would say maybe half an hour. And he was asking me about what uni I go to, how old I was, what I was doing. And the whole time, it sounds so shady, but the whole time I was pretending I didn't know who they really were. I mean, I knew kind of who they were, but I didn't really know who they were. Meanwhile, deep down inside, I was dying. I was dead. I was dead. Because of that, I ended up being on Channel 7 Sunrise News, which is a local news channel station in Sydney, and I think the whole of Australia, if I'm not mistaken. And I ended up being in magazines, and then there was a One Direction magazine that came out, and my sister and I were featured in it. It was crazy. But from that one little experience, like, it's insane what can happen. But yeah, so those are my stories and those are my shoes. Hope you enjoyed my shoe stories tag. Thank you so much to Carissa once again for tagging me. I loved your video. I got a bit emotional, which was a bit weird, but nonetheless, thank you for having me on your video. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you liked it. Comment below your favorite shoe story. I'm such a goofy body. I would love to read them and get to know you all a bit better. I'm so weird. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I love and adore each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to keep on smiling. Bye. Hi beauties, I also just thought I'd let you know that I've been nominated to win the best YouTube channel in Australia. So please vote for me by pressing the link below if you haven't already. Thank you.